name is Richard Scarry, and I'm one of the 3 partners at Faction Art Projects. And we've now opened what some people see as rather impressive, but what we see as a beautiful, flexible space in Harlem as our new home in New York City. And the idea of this space was to be able to open this gallery up to an interesting and eclectic group of people. And in this show, Harlem Perspectives, we actually put a lot of research into finding what's really happening in Harlem, and we wanted to find creators and makers and visionaries in Harlem. And in this show, we found 10 artists that are really doing kind of very extraordinary contemporary work in Harlem today.
Okay. Did you want to say any more?
This piece is Stanley Squirewell. We're thrilled to have him in the exhibition. He creates these very kind of majestic, regal portraits, full of history, full of texture, light, and color. We have many artists working in many mediums. And what's interesting about Harlem today as well is Harlem is very much the pinnacle of African American culture in the United States of America. And it's known as that around the world, but for us curating a show in Harlem, we'd be amiss to not incorporate, there's a great Latin culture here. We have a Colombian artist, we have an artist from Guatemala. We have a wonderful artist named Elaine Rychek, who actually lives across the street, who's been living in Harlem for decades. So as we're not trying to represent Harlem, but what we're trying to do is take what we found really exciting that's being made in Harlem, and by doing that, it's actually created quite a diverse dialogue with people from many kinds of backgrounds.
Is this going to be like a mixed-use space, or mostly just for art?
It's an art gallery. So the idea of this space is, as Faction Art Projects, we will be doing 5 shows here this year. But we are creating space between our schedule for other dealers and galleries, foundations, and museums from around the world to come in and use the space and put something else on for themselves in New York as well.
And is this the opening show for this gallery?
No, we had our inaugural show 2 months ago, and that was called All That You Have Is Your Soul, which was a Cuban diaspora show. This is our 2nd exhibition. And as a gallery and a curation team, we've always opened our space and our time up once a year to work with artists we've never worked with before, and just to kind of, it gives us an idea to delve in and see what's happening out there and not get stuck in our own models and with our own program. It gives us a chance to kind of break out of what we know and try something new.
So you say 5 shows. Does that have anything to do with like the 5 boroughs or anything like that, or?
If we did one show per borough, yes, but for us, we've actually talked about that, because I know the Bronx has a great scene, I know Brooklyn has a great scene, but no, the 5 shows for us this year was really about scheduling. This gallery was a huge endeavor bringing it together, and Celine worked on it for 18 months, and myself and Chippy came on board about a year ago. So to do 5 large art shows like this, it takes a year per show, to be honest. So.
And you said the last one was like about Cuban diaspora, and I see this one's about kind of the African American diaspora in a way. Is this going to be a current, like a trend with the next couple shows, with kind of taking it
I think
culturally? As I mean, I know you're saying it's a mix of the cultures that you've experienced when you're in Harlem. Are you like looking to kind of like give a spotlight to who's represented here?
Well, I think for us as a gallery, we're pretty diverse in ourselves, and in a sense that where we live in England is very culturally diverse, and we've always responded to kind of what's going. We consider ourselves global citizens, really, and I think Harlem and New York and the world is in flux. It's in motion. Everything is in transition. With immigration and migration, the way it's been shifting. I'm a product of immigration. My mother's English, my father's Irish, but I was born in America. My partner Celine, her mother's French, but she grew up in England. So it's kind of, I think the whole world has shifted, and I think the landscape has changed so much for people. And even if you look at African American culture in America, there's Afro-Caribbean, there's West African, there's Ivory Coast, the Nigerian community has a very big identity, and they consider themselves Nigerian here in New York. So even within different kind of cultural aspects, there are many different languages to examine. And I think we're just interested in artists that kind of have one foot steeped in art history for their craft and their skill, a foot in contemporary, kind of trying to create new, and exciting work to engage and use whatever it is they're making as a visual language to tell their story. And we like artists that have a story to tell. We're storytellers. And we like artists, and for us, when they have something to say, it's more interesting for us as well.
Do you have a favorite piece?
Well, within this
In the show, yes.
Within the show, I like them all equally, and I'm thrilled to have each of them here.
Which one would you take home if you could?
If I could take home which piece, I would take one of each. We've never worked. One of the it's kind of that, you know, one of the being a dealer and being a gallerist is very interesting. We come from a place of passion and love in what we do. My partner's an academic, and he's also a maker. He does ceramics. Celine, who actually has the lease on this building, who works with us on all these projects, comes from ancient Chinese antiques and art history.
Do you have a personal practice yourself?
What's that?
Do you have a personal practice yourself?
No, I'm purely the commercial side of the business.
Okay.
I come from this side of the business. I started at an auction house and I ran a gallery in LA. And then I ran a really large, big, non-for-profit gallery. And then from there, it's morphed into this. And all of a sudden, I'm sitting in a window in Harlem, and one of the projects I get to work on has my name on the door. And it's all because we believed in what we wanted to do.
That's amazing. And just one last question. What would you say makes Gallery 8 different than any other gallery in New York?
We don't come from a place of fear. As a gallery, we know that the landscape in the art world has changed and shifted. And especially with things like Instagram and social media and Facebook and Snapchat and WeChat, galleries can no longer pretend to be the gatekeepers to artists and to keep that separation between artists and collectors. Most people are very savvy, and they know how to contact artists that they like and see art that they love. So what we're doing is an honest response to that. So we're more of a flexible model. We're representing the work we have within the space at the time. We're not necessarily representing the artists here in New York. So that means that we can collaborate with other galleries. So there are 3 other galleries we worked with on this exhibition.
I mean, as in collecting, they lent their collection to you?
Well, no, they allowed us to work with their artists that they represent here in New York or here in America. Because we're not competing for that, if that makes sense. So for us, it's more of an open model. Gallery 8 has always been a platform for many different people, from foundations to museums, from antiques to contemporary art, to come and use this as a canvas to create their own space and to create their own shows.
And that's really special. I mean, I feel like that's very special as far as the gallery scene goes, as far as letting other galleries come to create like a show, like under like kind of a bigger umbrella. You know what I mean? It's kind of like bigger than you in a certain sense.
Well, it's also about allowing people, creating space. Every time you create space, something will happen and something will come. And it's about creating space and learning to work collaboratively with people and laterally and kind of honestly and openly with people. And you know, we have this, it sounds kind of a little hippie for the art world, but if everybody's in the room for the right reasons, it always works out.
Honestly.
You know, and that's how we feel about, from the artists to the collectors to the press, you guys, we appreciate the support, to foundations, to art advisors, to, you know, all the way across the board. You know, we get to work with art. You know, it's a privileged position that we're in. You know, I'm not stuck in a cubicle on a daily grind on a telephone trying to sell you something that you don't want. I get to help people acquire things they love and they get to keep and have a relationship with. It's a huge privilege.
Definitely.
This is Najee Dorsey. You listen to another installment of BAIA Talks. Be sure to follow Black Art in America at blackartinamerica.com and look for us on your favorite social media platform, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. And remember, you can always shop for art online at www.buyblackart.com.